What's up guys, Twilight here bringing you guys another Monster Hunter World video. Today's video will be probably the last video I do on the Alatreon. On my last video I did get a lot of comments for a lot of players that are asking if there are builds that they can use in order to defeat the Alatreon if they don't have access to Safi'jiiva gear. And in today's video we're going to hopefully be able to showcase a build that I recommend for any players that are either, they're brand new at the game or they haven't been able to make some of the end game stuff like the Safi'jiiva gear. Now, to get started, we're going to be talking about the Frostfang Barioth weapons. Those are the weapons that I recommend in order to fight the Alatreon. If you're not a super skilled player at the game, these weapons will hopefully help you defeat the Alatreon very easily. Now, the Frostfang Barioth weapons are very easy to make. You just go fight it, you get some tickets and some parts, and you're able to make them. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to be using the hammer. Now, for the hammer, what I recommend, or actually for any of the weapons, I recommend that you augment them with 1 point to affinity and 1 point to health regen. They just ensure that you do a maximum amount of damage over time during the battle. Now, this is the build that we're going to be using. We're going to be using Valkana, Shara Ishvalda, and as well as one piece of the Garuga. So all of these pieces should be very easy for a player to get as long as you've beaten the game. And to be fair, if you're going to be fighting the Alatreon, which is a very late game / end game boss, you're going to want to bring something that's decent to the fight. Now, this build is very easy to make, but don't worry too much about the decorations. You can go with whatever decorations you have, as long as you have 2 key abilities that I recommend. The set comes with most of these abilities, however, you're going to want at least Vitality all the way to level 3, so this gives you health boost level 3, and also resistor to level 2, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, if you have so many level 4 decoration slots, just go and find a decoration that has the vitality ability and another good ability on top of it. For the purposes of my build, I'm using vitality and peak performance, but the peak performance is by no means required because it only activates if you're at full HP anyway. Now, if you have resistor, that's what I recommend, and I only recommend it to level 2. Now, for your Palico, you're going to want at least an icy weapon. What I recommend is the Screeching Legiana weapon. And then for the armor set, you just want something that has fire resistance. I just ended up choosing the Seething Basil Geese armor set for the Palico. So if you have access to other more powerful sets for the cat, as long as they have good elemental defense, you should be fine. Now for your items, you can bring whatever you want. However, I do recommend having a Stera Jerky. They're very important during this match, especially if he does Eschaton Judgment. And you can also bring stuff to craft more max potions. So you need Mega Nutrients as well as Mandragora. And, you can bring extras with you so that if you do run out of max potions, you're able to craft more and not have to worry about carting in order to get more potions. Now, with that being said, you go and find the food skills. Now, for the food skills, you're going to want to pick something that would complement your playstyle. If you're a good player that knows how to dodge the Alatreon and you're not worried about getting hit very often, then you'll want to eat for something a little bit more offensive. So, you'll want to maybe use a gourmet voucher and eat for something that has attack boost. Now, if you're not very skilled or, maybe you're worried that you're going to be getting hit often, you can eat for something a little bit more defensive that gives you defense boost. Now, you can also eat for safeguard if you're worried that you're going to cart. That way you get an extra cart. And that's the open road platter on page 3 usually. Now, with that out of the way, we're going to be picking our quest and we're going to be heading out. Now I'm going to go pretty quickly talking about the Alatreon fight. This video assumes that you understand what the Eschaton Judgment does and how to negate it. So in order to be able to defeat the Alatreon, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to be able to negate his elements, and you're going to want to break his horn. Now these need to be done in a specific time frame. Now when the Alatreon is in fire mode, you're going to have to hit it with an ice weapon. Now for the purposes of this video, I cut out the beginning of the match because I only had the ice version of the Alatreon, but essentially what you're doing is, as long as you're doing damage to its horns or to its front legs, you're able to actually break him out of his element. And we're about to see that very quickly. It didn't take very long. I sped this up double speed, but this was about a minute or so of you attacking. Even if you got hit, don't worry about it. Attack his face, attack his arms, and right there you see your handler will say something like, oh, you broke him out of his element, or you're doing a good job containing its power. So that means you've broken his element, meaning that if the Alatreon does do Eschaton Judgment, you're not going to die as long as you can heal yourself. Now, during this moment, after you've broken its element, you're just focusing on damage. Now, regardless of you doing elemental damage to the Alatreon or not, you're still able to do damage to it. So your weapon does damage regardless of you being able to break its element. So now the Alatreon just switched into dragon mode. Now your handler will tell you, hey, this is the only time you can break its horns. You're going to want to break the Alatreon's horn if you've suppressed his element. So at this point, you don't want the Alatreon to switch into ice mode because you're using an ice weapon. If you're using the same polarity, so the same element as the Alatreon, you're going to do 0 elemental damage. So the whole point is you're trying to make sure you're going to prevent the Alatreon from switching into the ice element by breaking its horn. So right here we broke the horn, meaning that the Alatreon is unable to shift to the ice element because it started off with fire. So now at this point, all we're doing is we're doing more damage and we're waiting for it to activate Eschaton Judgment. So at this point, you're doing the same thing that you did at the beginning of the match. You're focusing on hitting the head, you're focusing on hitting the arms and doing as much damage as possible. As long as you learn how to dodge most of his moves, the Alatreon is a very easy boss. He telegraphs a lot of his moves and he gives you many openings for you to be able to attack him. You just have to be able to learn and read these openings in order to maximize your damage. So at this point, all I'm doing is attacking. Don't worry about using the Clutch Claw. Now, he is doing Eschaton Judgment. Since we broke his element, we don't have to be worried about dying. We prepare our Astera Jerky and just stand still and use one as soon as he uses the Eschaton Judgment, and then use another one before he lands to be at completely full health. So, that's something that a lot of players are having trouble with. They're not really sure how to break his element, but in order to break his element, you just have to make sure you use the opposite polarity for whatever element that he's currently in. So at this point, this is just like the beginning of the match again. You go back and you start fighting him. It's as if the match restarted. So we're attacking him, we're trying to break his element, just doing as much damage as possible, hitting him with the elemental weapon that's opposite of what he's using. So right now he's in fire, we're using ice just at the beginning. Now, with Coalescence, what's great about it is even though he hit us with a dragon move, which normally would negate our elemental damage, Coalescence and Blight Resistance make a very good combo that heals our negative Blight very quickly, and we're still able to do elemental damage. So right there, we broke his element one more time, meaning that if he does Eschaton Judgment, Eschaton Judgment will not kill us. But if you're doing very well, he will not be able to do another Eschaton Judgment. Usually he gets to do maybe 2 Eschaton Judgments if you're doing well. He could potentially do 3 if you're not doing as well. Now, you know, since he's in dragon form again, we're focusing on breaking the horns, which we just did, meaning that he's stuck in fire mode now. He can't switch back into ice mode, or rather, he's in dragon mode right now, but he'll switch back into fire mode instead of ice mode. So yeah, we're just focusing on attacking him and doing as much damage as possible. And the quest should be ending pretty soon, guys. You know, like I said, 1 or 2 Eschaton Judgments and he should be going down very quickly. You know, and I think he should be coming up soon here. Yeah, I think a few more hits and he'll be going down. But yeah, so what I wanted to showcase to you guys is, you know, fighting the Alatreon is not that bad. Even if you're an average player, you just need to sort of learn his patterns a little bit. You know, you don't even need to be this god tier level, you know, player that's able to dodge every incoming attack. You know, as long as you're doing moderately well, you're going to be able to defeat him. And this build will hopefully make it very easy for you to be able to perform that feat. But yeah, this was the video, guys. This was the build. It is not very hard to make. You use mostly all of the stuff that you can get before you even go into the guiding lands, which is, you know, amazing. But yeah, you do want to have maybe like a master's charm, you know, as high level as you can. Don't worry if it's not level 5. You know, don't worry if you don't have every single ability maximum. You'll have most of the abilities you need just from using this build. In any case, that was it for the video, guys. Hopefully this helps maybe some of the newer players out there, or some of the players that haven't gotten a chance to, you know, fight Safi'jiiva, because, you know, realistically it's a very good set to fight the Alatreon. But yeah, anyways, if you have any questions, or, you know, if you're curious about anything else that I didn't cover in the video, feel free to ask in the comments. If this video helped you, feel free to leave a like. You know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.